Happy birthday to you.
Do you know what? That shows how important I am to you, that you did that before your sponsorship introduction. I've never known you to do that before.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Edward Simon Phillips Hearn.
To Simon Phillips, or what was the other one? Edmund.
What's your full name?
Edward John Hearn.
Edward John Hearn. 38 today.
Correct.
This is how dedicated you are. You're on
the anywhere else, mate.
910 from Gatwick to Belfast.
Which we only just made.
Correct.
You've done some unbelievable driving.
Good
all
manoeuvring.
within the legal limits.
Obviously.
Like to just add.
Obviously. Belfast boy.
Yes, mate.
Run us through who's on the card.
Back, well, we're here. So, okay, let's talk through the gentleman here. This first gentleman, Ryan Doyle, he's fighting James Tennyson for the WBA International Super Featherweight title. What I'm liking about a lot of people in boxing at the moment, and these are the same in this fight, is James Tennyson was going to be fighting Ben Jones. Ben Jones pulled out very early this week. So I phoned up Steve Wood, I was on the phone to him, I said, Steve, you ain't got any super feathers, have you, to fight James Tennyson? He said, well, I've got Ryan Doyle, he's supposed to be fighting on Saturday. And obviously, if you recall, Ryan Doyle had a draw with Isaac Lowe, was in some good fights, moved up to super feather. I said, he'd be absolutely perfect. Phoned him up, sorted the money, done. This is what we like. No messing around, no, I'll have one more first, and then you're all fighting for the title on Saturday, live on Sky Sports. Here's the dough, nice payday. Do you fancy it or not, son? Yes, I do. Ryan Doyle, top man.
All right, moving along.
Same kind of mould, Adams Dingsdale, who, you remember, fought Derry Matthews. Correct. He's had some good wins, former Southern Area champion. Adam Dingsdale, Steve Goodwin, chasing opportunities for him. Paul Highland, star over here, undefeated, IBF European Championship, top man, Adams Dingsdale. Chris Sanagar, who I could do an impression of, but he might chin me.
Go on.
It's like, you know, we could have gone down the WBO route, but at the end of the day, Haskins was IBF champ. You know, he didn't actually win the belt, but because the geezer missed the weight. But, you know, he served his course. You know, he's been through it. He's won British, Commonwealth. I'll stop there, because otherwise he'll chin me. Chris Sanagar is a stalwart of British boxing. What you don't know about Chris Sanagar is he's actually a decent fighter as well. And he's an hard bastard. But he cares for his fighters. He really does. Hands on him and Jamie Sanagar. And the job they've done with Lee Haskins, what you don't know about Lee Haskins is probably a year before he won the world title, they were like, please, have you got anything for Lee Haskins? Like, we can't seem to create an opportunity for him. They stuck at it, and they got an opportunity in Monaco, and then they just kept going. And look at him now, world champ. Lee Haskins, been there, seen it, done it, got the T-shirt. Unfortunately, they tell me that Lee Haskins is in great nick. He's looking very sharp. He really fancies the job. A worthy world champion. Had a very close fight with Stuart Hall. I felt that could have gone either way. But, you know, Lee Haskins doesn't get the credit he deserves. Probably hasn't had the profile that maybe he deserves over the years. But, like I said, done everything in the sport and a worthy world champion. Now, this geezer, now he's proper.
Oh.
Proper. So, crunch time. Crunch time, isn't it? And we're going to do these two together, KUGAN. Because they do come as a team.
Correct. You
should probably put them like that, actually. Because they are as one. I think that this would be, and I think I said in your interview earlier in the week, this would be the highlight of Adam Booth's training career so far, for Ryan Burnett to capture the world title, because they have a very close relationship. I believe he lives with him in his house. You should know, you were around there for the Joshua-Klitschko fight, weren't you? Crunch time. Done his apprenticeship. Probably has missed the next level fight before a world title, if that makes sense. Maybe the European title, maybe a Karim Guerfi who we're going to look at. But opportunities in boxing don't come around to challenge for the world title that often. Adam Booth said we'd fight Lee Haskins, we'd love that fight. I went out and got it. And now, like you say, probably would have, in an ideal world, had one more between the level of Farag and Haskins. But it's time, in front of his own people. May never get a better chance to win a world title. The time is now. Adam has put everything into Ryan Burnett. You know, he came to me and said, this kid is a very, very special talent. A long time ago. He's worked and worked and worked with him, got him in position. Now it's time. It's the time for the people that have put the work in away from Adam and Ryan to put your feet up and just sit back and watch it all unfold. We've all done our job. Now it's over to him. And you mustn't let this opportunity pass you by. Lee Haskins is so good at letting you go through 6 rounds and then be 4-2, 5-1 down and then start chasing the fights. Stuart Hall did exactly the same thing, made the mistake, started too late. You've got to start early, you've got to pressure him, but when you try and pressure him, he's a great counter-puncher, makes you make mistakes, makes you look silly at times. He can punch as well, Lee Haskins. So at the same time, what's the tactics? Paul Highland Jr. So the thing is in Belfast is, you've got a situation where you've got Carl Frampton, you've got Ryan Burnett, you've got Paddy Barnes, who's obviously starting out his career. You've got Jamie Conlon, you've got some good fighters. You need some fighters coming through challenging for titles. You need some good fighters. Here, and we're going to put these two together again, Paul Highland and James Tennyson both sold a huge number of tickets for Saturday night and both have big title fights live on Sky Sports. Again, these people, headed by this man, Mark Dunlop, who has been very important to the show, has worked very hard for us, has got his lads on, has really pushed the show, been our man on the ground in Belfast. When you phone up Mark Dunlop and you go, right, James Tennyson, this was on Monday or Tuesday, I got you a fight at the weekend. It's a lot harder than the other fight, but I think it's a great fight. Ryan Doyle, yeah, no problem. So, have you even looked at Ryan Doyle? Yeah, I know him, but he's fine. You know? Paul Highland Jr., Adam Dingsdale, it's a 50-50 fight. Adam Dingsdale, yep, fine. All right, great. It's so refreshing because they don't get the opportunities. They know they're going to have to fight who they have to fight, and they are the men who have come forward. And, you know, that's what you want in boxing. People haven't got to be careless. They're still a 50-50 fight, or they might be slight favourites. If you're good enough, you'll beat these guys. If you don't beat these guys, you're not going to go on to the next level on TV show in big championship fights.
Should we go down the card?
Yeah. This is fun, isn't it?
Great new waves.
Okay. This is very interesting. Mike Perez.
Where do we know him from?
Well, he won Prize Fighter.
Where did he make his name?
Do you remember Prize Fighter? Prize Fighter was so successful, everyone started saying to me after the 96th edition, when are you going to get rid of Prize Fighter? Got rid of it. What are they saying now? When are you going to bring Prize Fighter back? So Mike Perez was due to fight Tommy McCarthy. Pat McGee lost his pen. Tommy McCarthy, I don't think, knew a great deal about the fight. Just to clarify, Pat McGee, this all spouted on Twitter, do you remember?
Yes.
And with Mick Conlon. And I said, listen, got a fight, no problem. Mike Perez, Tommy McCarthy. Yeah. Pat McGee got in touch with me the next day. We're up for the fight. This is what we want. I went back and said, deal done. We will announce on Monday. Speak to you soon. All done. Come back, announce on Monday. The communication problem appears to be between Pat McGee and his fighter, because Tommy McCarthy says that he never knew anything about the fight or about the money, even though it was announced and all over the press and everything. So Mike Perez stays on the bill. He's fit, he's strong, he's trained for the Tommy McCarthy fight, who's pulled out. A very, very talented heavyweight. At cruiser, could be a major player on the cruiserweight scene, but we will see. He looks incredible. I mean, always was heavy and lazy as a heavyweight. Now he looks ripped to shreds. Let's see how he takes it in the ring. Fergal McCrory, very popular, talented young fighter, fighting Paul Holt in a good fight. Sold a lot of tickets. Looking forward to seeing him box. Sean McGee, he's Eamon McGee's nephew, making his debut this weekend. Sean McGoldrick, who is the Commonwealth Games gold medalist, GB squad, outstanding amateur, and already had his first pro fight on the Anthony Crolla card. We should have done this the other way around, really, shouldn't we?
That's all right.
Should we do it again? No, I'm joking. Second fight on the bill on Saturday, and then we're going to take him to Wales with the next gen. Paddy Gallagher, who you know about, MTK, good fighter, welterweight, can really punch. He's back on the card. Tyrone McCulloch and Padraig McCrory, two young Belfast fighters, who, again, high hopes for. MTK.
I know you love this one, don't you?
Ian Timms. Well, Ian Timms...
Where's Dookie?
So the Duke Watkins, who he's fighting for the Irish Cruiserweight title, so they live in Bristol, right? So Luke Watkins and Paddy Fitzpatrick and Borg as well, and Sean McGoldrick have all turned up. So they live in Bristol and they've gone to Cardiff to get their flight, but it's actually leaving from Bristol. So they're not going to be here till this afternoon. But Ian Timms, MTK again, I would say Watkins used to be managed by George Groves. I don't believe he is anymore. But he's with Paddy. People had high hopes for Watkins. Timms is a tough bastard. I would say Watkins is the slight favourite in that fight. Would you?
Yes.
Oh, so you're picking Watkins, are you?
I'm not
Makes
picking.
a change for you to be picking
I'm not
someone.
picking Watkins.
Normally you sit on
And
the
Ian
fence.
Timms is actually a good friend of mine.
When you say he's a good friend of yours,
We
in
talk-
what respect?
We talk quite often, me and Ian Timms.
When was the last time you spoke to Ian Timms?
2 days ago.
Really?
Oh,
And how did you speak to him?
Oh, Timsy, what's happening, bruv? Ask Timsy when he gets
by
here.
what form? Phone call? Text?
Phone.
Phone.
Me and Tim's have like little chats every now and again. He'll tell you about it when he's there.
And Matthew Wilton, one of the Wilton family, called brother Luke particularly.
Yeah.
Welterweight, undefeated. There we go.
That's quite an epic breakdown of the card,
Yeah,
by the way.
no problem. And I didn't have to read anything off a sheet. Did you notice that? Because when you live it, you don't need to read anything off a sheet. What are you laughing at, Goodall?
Right, come this way again. Away, come this way. So, that's the card. We'll talk to you about some other stuff now.
Oh dear.
Let's talk about IBF. Let's talk about anti-Joshua. Let's talk about exceptions. Let's talk about Pulev. Break it down.
Well, we've had this conversation a number of
No,
times.
bit.
We asked for exception,
Yeah.
which people clearly have this. I mean, I don't know how difficult it is. When you have a mandatory challenger, you can ask for an exception. It's in the rules. It's not dodgy. It's not a preference over someone. You go in, you say, look, as we did. We've just fought Vladimir Klitschko. It's one of the best heavyweight fights in history. There are a lot of people who are very interested to see that again. The media, the fans, boxing in general. It's great for the sport. We would like to request an exception to fight Vladimir Klitschko. After that, we know we have to fight our mandatory. No more exceptions, no more unifications, nothing. So you're probably talking about 3-month extra weight for the mandatory challenger. Put that to the board. The board go away, they say, Jesus, that was a great fight, we don't really want to stop here, blah, blah, blah. It was approved yesterday, actually the day before. So we can fight Vladimir Klitschko. If Vladimir Klitschko suddenly says, I'm not taking the fight or I'm retiring, we have to fight Pulev. No further exceptions, no one else we can request. If we do fight Vladimir Klitschko, we have to fight Pulev immediately after.
But you've got to fight Klitschko before the 2nd of December.
Yeah. That's the ranges they've been given. Listen, if it was the 4th of December or 5th of December, you'd go to the IBF and say, that's the TV date. And Pulev, I've been talking to Pulev. Pulev and Callum made the objection, as you have to for your man, but also they want to fight Anthony Joshua or Vladimir Klitschko. So they're in a good spot. Rather than getting a vacated belt for no money, they're going to get a big fight. So part of being a promoter and part of guiding the career of a fighter is understanding the rules and understanding how to manoeuvre in certain situations.
Manipulate the rules.
No, it's not manipulating the rules. There's no manipulation of the rules. The rule is you can ask for an exception if you have a mandatory. We did. It's not rocket science. But some people don't know the rules. And I'm not just talking about Fury's. I mean, that's the question people say, oh, Fury got stripped. He didn't ask for an exception. They didn't do it in time. They got outfoxed. They got outmanoeuvred. It's just what happens. And there's many others that don't know the rules. And I didn't know the rules 4 years ago. When I started out, I didn't know that you could ask for an exception, or you could only ask for an exception until purse bids were called. So you make sure you ask it before purse bids are called. But when you've got the heavyweight champion of the world, it's quite important that you know the rules. You know?
When will we learn the venue?
There's meetings today, there's meetings next week, there was meetings last week in
Current
America.
front runners? Or can you reveal that?
I think Nigeria is probably one of the front runners. You know, people have this perception that Nigeria is a place that like makes fires by rubbing twigs together or something like that. It's a very powerful economy with a huge middle class sector, and actually a country that has a number of major events already, particularly pop music concerts. So the infrastructure's there. Obviously, it's difficult for us because there's never been a major fight there before, but that's challenging. I like that. You know, Cardiff.
Is that second? Or is America second?
Probably America. Yeah, America's. Yeah, I mean you've got Dubai, which you know everyone's
been linked with a fight in Dubai over the years.
What happens is you get approaches from about 8 different people saying, "Oh, I've got the money to bring this to Dubai." They're probably the same people that approached Amir Khan and Manny Pacquiao. And then it goes here, and you meet this guy, and then you meet this guy, and he brings
Quig
in...
Galahad.
Yeah, what?
Quig Galahad, that was Dubai, wasn't it?
Was it? I don't know. But anyway, eventually, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And you have to check out these things are real. The money's got to be up front. The venue's got to be secure. We're not going into a fight with Anthony Joshua where there's any doubt whether the fight will take place. 2 weeks before the show, the money's not there, or that's not happening. So it's got to be secure, and you also have to take into consideration we're fine here, you know, like we've got a good thing going. We love fighting in Britain, and AJ, you know, to go to another time zone, different preparation, different altitude, different facilities, you have to take that into consideration as well. So, but if the money's right, anything can happen.
My family have a holiday home in Nigeria.
Really? Whereabouts?
In Lagos.
Yeah, because it originally looked like there, but now they're talking about the capital, which is... do you know what it is? What's the capital of Nigeria? No. You sure? I thought it began with a B.
Someone Google it or something.
No one in the room knows what the capital... Mike, look, Mike will know. Watch this.
Who wants me?
Mike, what's the capital of Nigeria?
Yeah, good question.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, mate.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
Yeah, there anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Abuja.
Yeah,
That was it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got one there as well. So we'll have to wait and see about that.
Interesting.
Edward, I know you watched my interview with Chris Eubanks Senior yesterday. Mitekov.
Mitekov. I did actually, yeah. I watched. I didn't watch. What did I watch him yesterday? I watched about 4 or 5 minutes of that interview. And then I watched the press conference, which is just so bizarre. You know, one of the problems with boxing is people try and change things in boxing. Like the PBC did it. Let's not have any ring card girls. Why? Everyone in the arena loves watching the ring card girls go past. It's just part and parcel of boxing. Sorry, it's not that it's like the blokes there are just perverts. That's just what blokes like doing when they've had a drink. We're at the boxing, here's the ring card girls. Oi, oi! That's just the way it is. No, but am I right?
Speak for yourself.
No, you know that, but that's so. PBC stopped doing that. PBC said, no belts in the ring. You know, we don't. Fucking the fighters love belts. You know, no entourage in the ring when you announce the result. What? When you say "and the new" and everyone goes mental, and those scenes are ones that go down in history for years. So ITV are saying no press conferences, just Mark Pugash in the middle answering questions to Arthur Abraham, who hardly talks English, and Chris Eubank, who looks like he don't want to be there. I mean, you won't say it, but you agree with me. because we've already had the conversation.
No, we haven't. What? No, go on. Let's have this out.
Well, I said, what are they doing at their press conference?
You said that. I
Yeah.
said they're trying to be different. That's what I said to you.
Yeah.
Right, they're trying
And
to
then
be
you said
different. So I
it's
didn't side with you.
absolute rubbish.
Why are you lying?
No, I'm joking. No, he didn't really say that. He just said it was shit. So yeah.
God.
So I watched that. It ain't a bad fight. I mean, Arthur's well past his best, but it's not a horrific fight. But just tell me this: if I'm doing Kell Brook against Errol Spence and George Groves against Chudinov in a double header and getting stick for a pay-per-view fight, please don't let these people off the leash. Jesus Christ! I mean, it's absolute like daylight robbery to put that fight on pay-per-view with no undercard. And I get all the stick. Why can't you boo them? Why do I have to get all the boos? I've noticed from my Twitter today I'm very popular, actually.
Because it's your birthday.
And I was thinking that, you know, when I get booed, I reckon it's just literally 4 or 5 people with a megaphone, because it just doesn't seem right, all these people asking me for pictures and wishing me well, to boo me on the night.
Ed, talk to me about this De Gaulle, what he was talking about, De Gaulle and EUBANK. You made an approach to them?
No, I think what happened is they made an approach to the De Gaulles, of which there weren't any interest. I, about 2 weeks ago, maybe, made an approach to the EUBANKS and said, look, this is how the money looks. Would you be interested? There was some chat backwards and forwards. Obviously, De Gaulle had his injury and decided to go and have an operation, so it never really got moving anywhere. But there were definitely a few talks about it, yeah.
Okay. Unrealistic to happen though?
No, I think I think there's a lot of money in the fight. But the problem is, you deal with certain people at that stage in their career where they don't actually want to give that person the fight. Do you know what I mean? So in James's head, he just thinks he don't like EUBANK, so he's like, mate, he's got to earn it. Whereas I might say, yeah, but fuck earning it. Have you seen the money on the table? Groves is the same now. Like, you'd think now that would just be 50-50, yeah, sign. But it's not, doesn't.
What's bigger? Groves, De Gaulle, EUBANK?
Groves, De Gaulle at the moment.
Because of the world titles?
Yeah, no, but you're too close to it. So, like, you think that De Gaulle, EUBANK's bigger, because you told me earlier.
I do, in some ways, believe that's bigger.
Yeah, because you're too close to it. To the wider world, or the wider, De Gaulle Groves is a much bigger fight. But I do feel like De Gaulle EUBANK has the potential to grow in time to a bigger fight.
Okay. Cool. Maybe you should look to mixing up your press conference.
What, just have you sitting there going, so,
No, but
looking forward to this fight?
Eddie,
Yeah, I am.
Dare to be different.
Dare to be different. Some things in boxing are great, and press conferences is one. Standard press conferences. No frills. I'm not going to get someone in here now with like a brass band while we're talking, going. Like, it's just
mix it up. Lawrence will do it.
Definitely.
Lowell's been around a long time in boxing. Like Lowell would have been around where they used to have women standing either side with
So is
flags.
this man
Yeah,
as well.
definitely.
Yeah.
Jack Johnson would be up there.
Yeah. That was when Lowell started.
Is that when you started?
Yeah, Jack Johnson.
You didn't photograph Jack Johnson?
I did.
Yeah.
Did you really?
I actually did his dad.
Yeah.
God.
He did the christening as well.
Okay. Well, listen. Happy birthday, my old son.
Cheers, my old son.
Always tell the truth in life.
Yep. Why are you saying that for me?
No, I was just saying always tell the truth.
I agree with that, because then you don't really have anything to worry about.
Yeah, and you ain't got to remember your lies.
So my old man said, I
Hold
used
on,
to
before
lie.
you say what your old man said,
Yeah, that it's great being old and just not giving a monkeys and just telling the truth all the time, because you haven't really got to think about what you've said, have you?
What lie did I tell to that fighter? What
Probably,
lie
yeah,
did I
but
tell
he was
to
a
that?
scallywag, wasn't he, when he was growing up?
I'm not talking specifically about it. When I was just saying that's what you'd have to think about.
I'm sure my old man lied when he was younger, yeah, but he said like now.
Barry?
Yeah.
Honest as they come, Barry.
Dagenham boy, isn't he, you know. Can't trust them, ask Mitchell.
No, I can't imagine your dad telling a lie.
Yeah, definitely for his benefit. But he don't
I can't imagine you tell it.
He don't care less. I imagine back in the day when he was pitching to fighters, he was just like, this. Now he's straight up.
How many lies have you told this week?
How many lies have I told this week? I don't really think No, not really. You get to a stage you can't be asked to lie. I think when you turned up this morning, I think I said, "Hello, Cougie, good to see you, mate." I think that was a bit.
Yeah, it was a bit strong.
What, yeah.
After I picked you up on your birthday.
Yeah, I know. Nice.
Oh, but,
Yeah,
by
but
the
I had
way,
to pay the parking, and we didn't pre-book, and it's going
and
to
you
cost me
curbed my
about
wheel as
200
well.
sheets. Yeah. Oh, you curbed your wheel.
all right. Have you got anything else you'd like to add?
No, thanks for all the nice wishes. Enjoy the show on Saturday. We're closing in of the end of the season. This one, next gen, July the 1st at the O2, and then boxing is finished for the summer.
For yous.
Just in general.
Boxing goes on.
There is no boxing outside of us.
Are you joking?
No.
There's still
Not
shows
really.
going on.
Not really.
There is.
Not really.
There's still
Let's
shows
be
going
honest,
on.
it don't exist outside.
July is actually banged out. Even after your 1st of July show.
Boxing finishes on the 1st of July. On the 1st of July, you can just pack up and not watch any more boxing until September. Great news. Go on holiday with your family. Relax. I'm only joking. There's some good shows in July. If you like that sort of thing.